Trevor Kavanagh, he doesn't sound like much of a Conservative, does he?
No, that's rather worrying. I mean, he's a very personable chap, face-to-face, very nice bloke, very avuncular sort of style, and comes across very well on television. But then you examine him a little more closely, and he's an avowed Remainer who worked hard with Theresa May to deliver Brexit in name only. He wanted to stay in the single market, and I suspect still does, as Chancellor, either as Chancellor or perhaps indeed as Prime Minister. Is he going to return to that, or is he going to let it drop? Well, I doubt. I think that he also has rather blob-like characteristics. He is the Minister for the public sector, really. And this is a worrying thing in a Conservative administration. He does believe in things like lockdown and the power of the state over the individual. And he does admire the Chinese communists. He did want zero COVID. Now, those are the sort of things that, yes, we see this from Keir Starmer and the Labour Party, but we don't expect it from the Conservative Party.
You've written about these things, you've studied these things, you've commented on these political affairs for decades. Have you ever seen a mess like this?
No, and nor has anybody else. This has never happened before. 4 chancellors in 4 months, and possibly 4 prime ministers in 6 years. These are startling figures. And I think that what we've got is the result of the 12 years, or certainly the first 9 years, of David Cameron and George Osborne, followed by Theresa May, which was a period when all the signposts towards Thatcherism were torn down and replaced. And now they're invoking the name of Margaret Thatcher as if she's a patron saint. But the fact is that the Tory party has gone in a totally different direction. It's gone in a socialist direction.
Yes, I mean, what was presented today by Hunt could just as easily have been put by Rachel Reeves or Keir Starmer. It was a very Labour-style budget. I thought particularly the attack on the self-employed and small companies, there was something very vindictive and nasty about that. I mean, don't they understand that real capitalism happens at the grassroots level?
Yes, but the Treasury hates IR35. It's a way of people having and keeping their own money. It's anathema to the Gordon Brown type Treasury attitude to life. I do hope you're dusting off your drone missiles for the future, because they're going to be rich pickings, you know.
Well, I mean, Trevor, I've watched this party go, from crisis to crisis, to make promises at successive general elections without, I think, ever the intention of really carrying it out. It's perfectly clear that the One Nation wing are completely and utterly in control of this, with their very powerful friends in the big banks and some of the big global businesses. I mean, is there actually any point to this party? I know it's been around for 200 years. I know it's been amazingly successful. Does it have a future?
Right now, no. I don't think it even has a leader or a prime minister. I think that Liz Truss will be lucky to survive more than weeks, possibly even days. As she said, they're coming to get me. And they are. They're coming to get her, and they're going to get her. And we will have another prime minister, and it looks like it will be either Rishi Sunak, who's the favourite, or Jeremy Hunt, if he decides that after all he is now effectively prime minister. Why give that up? I mean, that could be yet another bloodthirsty battle between what remains of the big players in the Conservative Party.
But they can't go back to the members. That's the view of Westminster, isn't it? That 3-month process, the country won't put up with it. So then they effectively choose themselves. And it won't be uncontested either, because of the divisions that exist in the party. So they then choose the next Prime Minister. Where does that leave the Conservative Party membership? The people that pay their subscriptions, deliver leaflets, stand in council elections. I mean, it's pretty bleak, isn't it?
I think what you're seeing, and you of all people will know this, that this is the result of the Brexit vote. You've got Remainers versus Brexiteers, and even that is more complicated because allegedly Liz Truss is a Remainer or a convert. And we know that Penny Mordaunt and Rishi Sunak voted for Brexit. But Jeremy Hunt is an avowed Remainer, and right now is in a very powerful position to demand a place in whatever government takes over. Say, for instance, it's Rishi and Penny Mordaunt as Foreign Secretary. That still leaves Jeremy as Chancellor. Chancellors have enormous power over such things as whether we perhaps drift back into the single market or not.
Yes, and we haven't cut many regulations, so going back into it would actually be very, very easy because we haven't taken advantage. You're right in what you say to me. There are going to be centre-right political opportunities, especially if proportional representation comes. I've been seeing moves, the general public becoming now much more supportive of some element of PR in our system, Lord Mandelson and others. If we did get PR, that's the end of the Tory party, isn't it?
I think so. I think that is going to happen the moment that Labour takes power, which it's going to do.
Yeah.
The Tories are going to be defeated, and perhaps defeated terribly. It may be mauled beyond repair. There is going to be a rapprochement, there's going to be a rebuilding of parties, but there's going to be a long period before there is a Conservative Party once again ready to take on the ruling government of the day, which might be a coalition, of course. So I think that there is a huge appetite out there. I mean, 13 million people voted for Boris and Brexit in 2019, just 3 years ago.
Yeah.
They're the ones who are paying the price of what's happening in there tonight. They're the ones who are going to suddenly find themselves with a government they didn't want, a party which is going to be, for all the fact that Keir Starmer is trying to look centre ground, his is a left-wing party. Everything about Keir Starmer's background is a hard left politician.
Yes, but at the moment, not much to choose. For those of us that believe in liberty, small state capitalism, free markets, these are very depressing times, aren't they?
Yes, but as I say, a golden opportunity for people like you.
Well,
Nigel.
yes.